So Joe Biden was already in terrible shape when Q3 fundraising totals came out. He was in fourth place in amount of money raised after Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, and Pete Buttigieg, much lower than both Sanders and Warren too. This is as he raises money from big money donors and big fundraisers, and Sanders and Warren are getting what Buttigieg would derogatorily call pocket change from small dollar contributors all across the country. Psst, they're beating both of you guys in fundraising. But Biden's not only in bad shape with the amount of money he's raised in the third quarter of the year, he's in bad shape with the amount of money he has in general. Biden has spent almost $2 million more than his presidential campaign raised in the third quarter, a predicament caused by sluggish fundraising coupled with the expenses of maintaining a big payroll and a nationwide operation. One that included luxury expenses such as swank hotel stays at the Westin and the W, and nearly $1 million for private jets. According to some of the calculations, I read this in the Daily Beast, private jets accounted for one out of every $16 that he raised. I hope I said that right. So, truly a man of the people, Joe Biden. I don't know if you've heard, but he takes the train. He took the train when he was in Congress. Huh. Wow. His cash on hand sum of $8.9 million is so low. How low is it? That it's almost 4 times lower than the $33.7 million banked by Sanders, nearly 3 times lower than Warren's $25.7 million war chest, and more than twice as small as Pete Buttigieg's $23.3 million. Yikes. So, from my end of things, as someone who's passionate about campaign finance reform, even though we need reforms, not just this kind of behavior failing, it is pretty damn gratifying to see his complete reliance on big money donors failing him so badly, because the strategy of just raising money from wealthy people is old, outdated, and anti-democratic. The days of a bunch of oligarchs, usually from Wall Street, picking the presidential candidates and the nominees, it is pretty much over. In 2008, Obama blended a big donor fundraiser strategy with a large online fundraising operation of small dollar donors. He kind of blended the two, but now we've transitioned beyond that. It's the post-2016 Bernie Sanders era, and those days are over. And even the candidates that are pretending to be of the people, like Pete Buttigieg, started their campaign saying, we're going to do this on small dollar donors, and now he's transitioned to the big fundraisers. I get it. But it was seen as something that had to be a given, even though a lot of the candidates are trying to work around it. The two that have been successful at it, Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders, with Bernie Sanders being the most successful at it, they're going to have the most staying power in this sense. So, Biden may fall. There may be another centrist that comes up, like Pete Buttigieg or something like that. But Warren and Bernie will be there till the end because their donors will not max out like Biden's will. Biden will run out of wealthy people who want to give him money, and they can't do it with the legal limit. And Bernie and Elizabeth Warren, who are relying on the pocket change, I've said this again, their donors aren't going to max out. Joe from Indiana could have given $5 back in March. Say he wants to give $10 or $7 in a month or two. He can do that. He hasn't maxed out. And that's what happens when you run a grassroots campaign. Joe Biden is certainly not running that, and it shows.